Good morning, and welcome to the virtual Greater Boston Church of Spiritism on this beautiful Sunday, or whenever it is you're watching this video. Please join me in our opening prayer. Infinite Spirit, beloved God, we ask your blessing as we gather here today in community and in harmony. Help us to remember that we are part of each other and a part of you, that there is no separation, even though we feel that we're separate physically, energetically, and spiritually, we're all one. Help us to realize that light and that love within ourselves and within each other, so that we may continue to live in harmony, in unity, and in peace, creating a beautiful world. We ask that you bring our loved ones close so that we may know that life and love truly does continue and that we really are all one, no separation, connected through your light and your love. For this knowledge, we truly give thanks as we say, Amen. And I'd like to open the service today with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from the highest source. I salute that source in you. Let us work together for unity and love. Can we offer these things to each other? Can we see the divine source in all others? We are all the expression of God on earth, as our principles teach us. God is in our heart. Can we let that presence out so we can live in unity and in harmony with all people? Herman Melville said, "We cannot live only for ourselves. 1,000 fibers connect us with our fellow man. So let us all live in unity and in harmony and peace." Please join me now in our healing prayer, which will appear on the screen. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstruction from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love, in the power of God. And now it's time for our healing meditation, a time where we can let go of the stress, the strains of life, the difficulties, the fears, and the worries, and just settle into the sacred moment of now and connect to that divine presence that is always around us, always within us. So I ask you to just get comfortable wherever you are. Close your eyes, take a nice deep breath, and allow your breath to guide you into the present moment. We know that the past is over, the future has not come. So let us all be present in this sacred moment of now and allow our breath to relax us, to calm us, and to soothe us. Breathing in deeply and imagining that divine healing light flowing in with your breath, moving through your body, relaxing every muscle, every bone, every nerve, and every joint. And as you breathe out, release any tension, any tightness you may feel in that body. And just let it all go. Breathing in that light and that peace and that healing power, and breathing out everything else so that you may return to your natural state of ease and grace, allowing your body to thoroughly relax. And just imagine that divine healing light moving from the top of your head all the way down through your body to the tip of your toes, and every part of that body relaxing. Feel that healing light filling every cell, filling every muscle, moving into every organ, filling every system so that every part of you can work in harmony with every other part. And as you breathe, just to allow that body to relax fully. And feel that light gently moving through your mind, quieting all those busy thoughts, removing any less than thoughts. Feel the power of love filling your mind as you lift into that higher mind and connect to that source of all that is, opening to the love that is there for you. And allow that love to flow through your mind like a peaceful river, transforming any negative thought into a positive, empowering thought, so that you may live your life fully as the divine being you were created to be. You are always connected to this source, the source of love and life itself. And as your mind expands and opens to this love and this positivity, you're ready to receive any inspiration or wisdom that is flowing towards you from the higher side of life. And you can allow this pure, unconditional love of God to wash through your emotional body, cleansing and clearing away any emotions you may have held on to, any negative emotions that have held you back from loving. For you are made of love and from love. And anything that blocks that love within you, allow it to be cleansed and cleared and washed away by this healing power of God. And feel that power flowing into your heart, into every part of your energy field, filling you with unconditional love, empowering you to be the loving being you were created to be, to know yourself as the spirit you are, so much more than just a physical body. Get to know your own energy, your own spirit, as you allow that light and that love of God to fill every particle of you on every layer and every level. And just be present with you for the moment, feeling that love is a part of you, knowing you are here to love. You are here to be loved and to share love. And as you open to this pure love, feel yourself being lifted higher and higher above the physical plane and carried into a place of light and love. And imagine yourself being placed down in the center of a magnificent garden that is filled with every color you can imagine. Some you have never imagined before. It is filled with every kind of flower and tree and shrub. And just be present in this magnificent garden as you look around and see the beauty within every single flower, as each flower emanates their essence, their beauty. And you can see that every flower is receiving what it needs to shine and to share its beauty with all around it. For every flower shares its essence and its beauty just as the sun shares its rays with everyone and everything. There is no discrimination among flowers and trees, among the sun and among nature. Pay attention as you look around this garden and notice that every flower unto itself is unique and beautiful. And every flower is also very different from every other flower. Each one has something special to offer. And as we look at this garden, we realize that every flower knows it will receive what it needs to thrive. Every flower shares itself perfectly and completely. And as we feel the rays of God's light shining down upon us, we are reminded that we are here to share who we are, to share our beauty, our magnificence, but also to see and experience the magnificence in every other being, knowing we are all unique and we are all different. but we all hold something amazing to share. And as we share our essence, we share the light of God that is a part of that essence of us. And we fulfill our journey. Take a nice deep breath and begin to see yourself just like a flower in this beautiful garden. And feel your essence vibrating and radiating out from you, sharing your magnificence, your beauty. Sharing your essence. And imagine that essence as a part of God. And the more you share, the more light and love that flows from the divine flows through you, fills you, and flows out into the world. So that you make the world a better place simply by being. Feel yourself completely connected to that divine source as the divine brings to you everything you need and helps you to understand that you have everything you need within you to be successful in all you choose. As you share who you are, honestly, truthfully, as you understand who you are as a magnificent spirit of God, and share your goodness, your beauty, and your light with everyone. Breathe in that divine healing light and feel it picking you up, lifting you high above this beautiful garden, carrying you out into the ethers, so that you may look down upon the planet, upon Mother Earth, and begin to radiate and share God's light and your essence and your beauty onto the world. See our world filled with light, for as you share your light, as you share God's healing power with the world, every being is ignited and able to share their beauty, their light, and their love. Imagine that every person on this planet is being turned on, and that light of God deep within is shining brightly and emanating from each individual. And see our planet filled with light, filled with the power of love, so that all beings live in harmony. All beings work together to create peace. And all beings appreciate the differences in all people. For we are all unique and different, but within we are all the same, a part of the divine, and we are all made from love. So let us all allow that love within to merge with the divine love and fill our world. And let us carry that love wherever we go, so that we can make a difference, so that we can create harmony and peace, so that we can all live in a state of ease and grace, just as the flowers do. Take a nice deep breath and feel that light. Feel that love continuing to emanate from you. Feel your guides and angels and loved ones drawing near, for they are all there to support you on your journey to be the love that you were created to be. Allow yourself to be loved. Love yourself as you are, and begin to walk that journey, knowing you have all that you need within you, all the support you need as you walk this journey. You are a part of all that is, and you are loved beyond measure. Take a nice deep breath and feel yourself being loved by your source, by God, by the divine essence. And that is the truth of your being in every day. For you are always loved, always supported, and you have all that you need within you. Take a nice deep breath now and feel yourself gently coming back to the room and carrying all this love, all this light, and all this magnificence that lives within you, coming and bringing it back into the room so that you may continue to share that with all you meet. And now take another nice deep breath, and as you come back, smile. And through that smile, let the essence of light and love flow so that you may share right through your smiles the essence of God. And if we're all back now, let us together say our declaration of principles. In spiritualism, we have no rules or regulations, no dogmas or creeds, but we do have a set of principles that help us to live our lives in the best possible way. So please read them with me. We believe in infinite spirit and that God is infinite spirit. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite spirit. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of an individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the Golden Rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that they make their own happiness or unhappiness as they obey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. And we affirm the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. And now, as we work to help everyone to understand the beauty within everyone and to find that unity within all people, and helping us to understand the different experiences that people undergo in this world, we have with us today Mary Ni, a Chinese-American woman who's going to share her experience and hopefully encourage and uplift everyone who hears her wonderful words. So please open your hearts and welcome Mary Ni, a wonderful member of our church. And she will be followed by a musical selection sung by Damien LaCount, and he's going to sing You Say.
My name is Mary Ni, and my Chinese name is Ni Mengliang. Reverend Mary invited me to speak for about 10 minutes on the topic, what is it like to be Asian in our spiritual community and in the United States? This is a part of our church's initiative to have church members get to know each other better across cultures. And I'm happy to be a part of this program. My lived experiences as a Chinese American are only mine. There are, in fact, many Chinese in the world, and in China there are 57 different ethnic groups and 7 major language dialects. So if you come from a different area in China and you're speaking to a person from another area in China, you might not be able to understand each other because the language sounds so different, even though it's both Chinese people. But if you write and can read, you can understand the written language, even though the sounds are different. Anyway, I didn't really understand Chinese until I grew up and started taking Chinese lessons. and I'm still trying to learn the language and Chinese customs. My parents both immigrated from China as graduate students who got scholarships to go to school. And at the time that they were here in the U.S., there was a big revolution going on in China, and they were given an opportunity to stay in the United States when China was helping the U.S. to win the Second World War. And around that time, Mao Zedong was also fighting the nationalists to try to get control of China. So my parents took the opportunity to stay in the U.S., and they thought that the children that they were going to have would have more opportunity here. And they were right. There was me and my two brothers, and at that time China was an underdeveloped country, and our family didn't have much financially in China, and we didn't either in the U.S., but as my parents became more affluent, they shared their money with people in China. In fact, my mother sent money over to China for as long as she lived. And when she died, she asked me, after she died, if I would send money as well. And I have. So I'm a first generation Chinese. I was born in Chicago, and I speak English as my first language. My parents wanted my brothers and I to grow up as American as possible, and they made a conscious effort not to teach us Chinese or Chinese culture. In fact, growing up, I felt like I was Chinese only because of the way I looked, and because I had Chinese parents who spoke English with an accent. Sometimes people would ask, what's he saying about my father? Because they couldn't understand his heavily accented English. And I was embarrassed about how I looked and how we stood out from other white people in the United States. In rural Maryland, where we lived for a lot of my childhood, we were very different because there were only white people and black people, and we were the only Asian family around. But if we were treated white, that was fine because they treated white people with respect. And if we were treated black, we were treated very poorly. We were disrespected, rejected, made fun of. People were hostile toward us, and sometimes there was violence. So, as a kid, I wanted to be white because, of course, I wanted to have respectful treatment. When we were treated poorly, however, my parents told us to ignore the behavior. Those people are ignorant, they would say. They don't know any better. So we swallowed a lot of insults. I was very quiet and obedient and tried to be above reproach. I thought if I did everything right, I would be accepted. It was a very restricted way to go about living. Most people just ignored me. Others seemed to be offended by my presence. When they were offended by just how I looked, they felt like they could be mean. So right now, something similar is going on. You know, we are being blamed, the Chinese, for the pandemic by some people. We have been scapegoated more and more because of this, and there's an increase in bigoted behavior. We've been targeted for abuse. Our elders have been beaten up. Our sisters and brothers have been murdered. Since childhood, because of my lived experiences, I am very cautious around people, especially white people, although I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I do think that all human beings start out being innocent and loving, but the distresses we are victim to growing up from well-intended but misinformed caretakers, from bullies, from internalized mistreatment and unaware racism, they've all taken a toll on my psyche. I didn't realize that I lived my life on high alert, for example, until I went to Hawaii for the first time when I was in my early 30s. And in that atmosphere, being around a majority of Asian heritage people who had the same culture as I and looked like me, I felt safe in a public way that I had never felt before. I noticed my whole body relax and my lungs expanded. I could breathe more deeply and freely. Feeling the difference in my body, I realized that my normal way of moving through the world was with constant caution and vigilance. I lived on high alert. I started coming to this church, the Greater Boston Church of Spirituality, in 2019, soon after my older brother, Philip, had died. I was deeply grieving and discouraged after Philip's death and was seeking solace and a deeper understanding of life. I found the church online, and in my first visit here was drawn in by many things. The casual atmosphere, Reverend Mary's sincerity, Rob's beautiful music, the solos that different people in the congregation were invited to sing, the healing circle, George Lucy's open-hearted personal welcome, and I've been here ever since. I haven't paid much attention to my physical and racial differences in this church, but I am aware, as I am in most other public places, that I usually look ethnically different than most other people. And when I think about it, I wonder what kinds of stereotypes people have of me and of Asian people in general. We are a spiritual community who aspire to live up to the golden rule. So I figure that we're willing to give each other a little slack and understanding around places where we might not live up to each other's expectations. But for all of us, I imagine we want to be seen for who we really are, past all the prevailing stereotypes and biases that we consciously and unconsciously hold. In my case, I wonder, for example, how many people in our congregation know and are friends with Asian heritage people? Who has real friendships versus only superficial friendships with Asians in our community? Who has been invited or has invited into their home an Asian heritage friend to share a meal? Who is somebody that you would ask a favor from or freely give a favor to. Whom do you think you could count on, or who could count on you in a pinch? I wonder who in our congregation would be willing to stand up to someone who is being racist against me or towards another Asian person. Or would you stand up to us if we were being discounted because of our race or anything else? If they were telling us to go back to our own country, even though this is our country, or if they blamed us for the pandemic, or if we were being spit on or punched or hit. Who, I wonder, would be interested enough in me and our congregation, in our congregation, to get to know me beyond any stereotypes? And who would be interested enough to learn about any of their own Asian and Chinese stereotypes to begin with? Our church is currently offering pilot 4-session social justice programs, healing racism, to look at neglected issues relevant to what it makes it hard for people, and particularly white people, to reflect on their own lives and the racism that makes it hard to know others from a different culture. I was really grateful that there was enough interest in our church leadership and membership to implement such a program. And I joined this effort, and I'm glad for it and the connections I have made. As these kind of programs continue, I know that we will become even stronger and more effective as a church community and as individuals as well. Thanks for listening to me.
The song is called You Say, and it's just a really good reminder.
Thank you, Mary Nee, for that wonderful talk, and thank you, Damien, for another beautiful musical selection. And now it is time for our spirit communication, and I will be your medium again this week and bring through whatever it is Spirit has to say. We welcome all of our loved ones in. You know, I don't know who's watching this, but I know that the spirit world does, so I'm going to deliver whatever it is they have to say, and I know that they love to share their wisdom. So the wisdom is for everyone, even if you don't recognize the loved one that's bringing the information. They're bringing evidence, and then they're bringing wisdom so that we can all benefit from their experience on earth and in the spirit world. So let's see who's here, and if you do recognize someone, please drop me an email and let me know that we're making these connections. And big thanks to all the people that have been sending those emails throughout this time. It's good to know we're making that connection and you're recognizing your loved ones. So let's see who's with us today. Okay, I have a little lady who's stepping in. She feels very quiet as she comes in. I feel like she would have been diminished before she passed because she makes me feel tired, like she wants to sit down. And life sort of just depleted her at the end of her life. But I feel rather old with her. I feel like she's looking older than she was, she's telling me. She's in her 70s, but people would have thought she was older. And I feel like it's because of the illness that she had before she passed. It really drained her body, and she looked very old before she passed. So she's letting me know that her struggle at the end of her life was very difficult. And she wants to say thank you to the people that helped her and supported her, because I feel like it was quite a long time that she was struggling. I feel not too tall with her, and I feel very thin at the end of her life. And I feel like she was never really heavy, but she did have some good weight, because as I'm blending with her, I feel like she's bringing me back to the time where she was healthy and strong, and she would have loved to walk. I feel like you could see her walking around the neighborhood all the time, because she'd like to be out there and she liked to walk. She'd like to be active and she liked to be with people. I feel like she's coming in as a friend and also as an aunt. I don't feel like she had any children of her own, but I do feel like she was married, but her husband passed long before her. So I feel like as she's coming in, she's sort of reaching out and grabbing her husband and saying, I found him, he's here with me. So I feel like she's not long in the spirit world as I'm blending with her. I feel like she's passed recently, and she's happy to be coming in. She's got a beautiful smile, and I feel like she's really wanting to reach out and say, I'm so glad I'm out of that body and I made it here. She said the last few years of her life were a great struggle, and I feel like she sort of stepped back from the world, and she didn't allow people or have a lot of visitors. She just sort of she said, I closed in on myself, and I didn't want to be a burden to anyone, and I didn't want to call too much attention to myself. I just sort of wasted away on my own. I feel like she was in a nursing facility before she passed, but she wants to go back in time and talk about who she was when she was strong and sturdy. I feel like she was just such a sturdy lady and very independent and very capable and able to take care of herself and do things for herself. And she said that was the big struggle that I had to go through. And when I got sick, I couldn't do anything for myself. And I always loved that independent part of me. And I feel like she would have had to fight to take care of things on her own, but she always did. She always rose above the challenges of life and the difficulties, and she was always successful in doing that. So this ending illness really knocked the wind out from her, which made her withdraw and not reach out to a lot of people that she said she knows would have come to her aid. And she's sort of apologizing for that, but she's saying, I felt like I was doing everyone a favor by not drawing them into my pain. And she feels very self-sacrificing as she does that. She wanted to do good. And she's saying, I'm sorry if you feel like I didn't give you the opportunity to spend time with me. I didn't feel like wouldn't have been quality time, and she laughs. So I feel like she's got a good sense of humor, and I feel like she was very friendly and did know a lot of people, but at the end of her life, she didn't allow them close. But she's saying, I'm here now, I'm in spirit, I'm finding my family. I feel like there's some Canadian connection with her because she just got the Canadian accent a little bit with the way she's talking. And I feel like she wants to say, I made it, I'm good, and thank you. That's her message to the people who know her. Thank you, because I know even if you weren't with me, I know that you were praying for me, and I did feel that. So I want to leave you with her blessings and her great joy of being free. And she's letting me know that it was a lot of years since she felt this freedom, felt this good. And she said for, I would say, the last 20 years were a struggle in her life with illnesses. And she said, I feel so good to not have to struggle anymore. So it's a great relief to be home, she says, and very happy to come in and just give a little wave and a smile. And she said, I remember all the things people did for me throughout the years, and I'm very appreciative for all of that. But just remember me, she says. Remember me smiling and happy. And I leave you with her blessings and lots of love. Thank you. Okay. I feel like I have a few people coming in together. Come on, come a little closer. Okay. I feel like I have a woman who's very strong, and she feels like a grandmother to me. Okay, I feel like she has a big hat. I feel like she's a rather large lady. She's a big presence, and she feels as if I'm seeing darker skin, so I feel like she's an African-American woman, and I feel very strong and powerful with her. She's just a presence when she comes in, and I feel like as she brings in that hat, I feel like she's going to church to sing, because I feel like she sings, and she has a wonderful voice. And so I feel like she's coming in to sing, and she's singing God's praises, but she's also singing praises for the people that she was connected to. So I feel like she's also coming in this energy of gratitude. And she's saying, I loved my life, I loved the people in it, and she said, I'm grateful to everybody for the things they shared with me. And I feel like she would have loved to sit and talk, and she would have loved to be with people and know what's going on in their life and know ways in which she could help them. Because I feel like I'm always reaching in my pocket and I'm sharing what I have. And I feel like it's not that she has so much. She says, sometimes I had very little, but even if I had very little, I shared part of what I had, because the more you give out, the more you get back, and she knew that. But she was very generous, very loving, very loud, and very happy woman. I feel like she used to laugh. She loved to laugh, and you'd hear her laugh before you'd see her. She would bring joy and fun wherever she went. I feel like I'm going into a family vibration, and I feel like she wants to talk to her people. She says, I want to talk to my people. And I feel like she's got granddaughters and grandsons, and I feel like her daughter is here as well, so on the earth plane. So I feel like she wants to reach out to all of her family and say, you know, I still love you just as much. And she said that can never change. I feel like she would have, besides singing, she would have had wonderful recipes. She would have been able to cook for a crowd. I feel like when she cooked, it was for a big crowd. She showed me big pots on the stove, and she would have cooked for parties and big crowds. When the family got together, it was a big family. Everybody was there, and that's how she liked it. She'd like to embrace everyone, and everyone is welcome. So I feel like whenever she had a get-together, the doors were open to everyone. And she said, that's how it should be. Don't limit yourself to just your own little circle, because she says, I see that. I see what's happening, that, you know, the family breaks up into small little circles, and then each circle is all alone and they don't come together again. In my day, there were no little circles. It was everybody together all the time. And she said, I'm watching as the family breaks up into little compartments. And she said, that's fine for sometimes, but you have to get together and you have to have those big outings and those big family gatherings. And she said, summer's coming and it's time for some big family gatherings. I'm seeing barbecue outside. I'm seeing being by a lake or water, some sort of water, and picnic tables and people cooking on grills. And I feel like I'm going out to a place in nature and the whole family's gathering there. I feel like these are memories of hers, but also something that she's encouraging the family to do again. That summer is coming, you'll be able to be together again. Celebrate, go out and enjoy. Everybody bring the food and share what you have, because not one person can do it all. I feel like she used to do all the cooking when the gatherings would happen, and there would be everybody in the kitchen helping her, but she was always in charge. She was like the boss, and she's saying, share the load, share the work, because it's too much for one person. But everybody do your part and have a wonderful time. The important thing is getting everybody together. So she's coming in to gather everybody up, and she's singing. And she says, sing when you get together, because there's some beautiful voices in my family. And she wants you to all sing together and harmonize. And she said, bring your friends, bring other people. Don't just limit it, you know, open wide and let everybody in. It's time. It's time to bring everybody in, everybody you know, have fun with them. Let them know who you are and get to know who they are, you know. I think she's talking about people you work with and people that you just sort of know. She wants you to get to know everybody, because you can never know too many people, she says. We need them all in our lives. And I feel like she has lots and lots of friends, and she has lots of friends on the spirit side as well. She said, I just keep gathering them up. She said that's just her personality. Wherever she went, she made friends, she gathered people up, she pulled them together, and she's just such a wonderful soul. I feel like she's coming in to gather everybody up today and give everybody this one huge hug. And she's just such a hugger. And she said, I know you missed my hugs. She said, but I'm giving you hugs from spirit, and they're filled with love. So she said, feel me. You'll know I'm around you. And take my joy, because she's bringing so much joy to everyone. Not just her family, everybody. She wants to gather everybody up. So she's just a truly amazing soul. And I thank you for being with us today and sharing all that wonder and awe of life. Thank you so much. Let's see who's going to follow her. She's strong. Okay, oh, I have a gentleman who comes marching right in. He says, I'm strong too. I can bring in a lot of energy as well. And I feel like this gentleman is marching, so I feel like he would have been the boss. I feel like he would have been in the service because he knows how to march in place, but he showed me that he used to march in parades. So I feel like he would have been in like the Veterans Day parades, or, you know, anytime there was a parade, he was one of the ones that would walk. So I feel like he was in a group that would walk in parades, and he loved doing that. He loved to be out with people. And as he'd walk down the parade and he'd see everybody in the town, and he'd wave to everyone and everyone knew him. So I feel like he's a really large gentleman, and he's a huge personality, very much a politician as I'm blending with him. I feel like I just want to walk and shake hands and keep meeting people and listening to their problems, because I feel like he would listen. I feel like he's not high up in politics, but he's in one of the jobs like a councilman or something like that, where he would listen to people's issues in the town that he was from. He knew everybody by name, and if people had a problem, they would call him up, and he would do everything he could to help them. He was very much a giver. I feel like he was so strong in his ability to help other people and to look out for the greater good of the whole. So even if he had to disappoint you and say no to you for something that you wanted, he had a way of helping you to understand why it wouldn't be good for others and turn you right around and away from what it is you want. So he had a wonderful way about him to point out what works best for everyone instead of just what works best for me or for you. So I feel like he could see with a much higher view. He always looked beyond the immediate and saw the outcomes that would come from years down the road. So he's a very intelligent man, very kind, very caring, very loving. I feel like he wants to reach out to his family. I know that he has daughters and also a son, and I feel like he wants to reach out to them to let them know that he's watching out for them, that he's looking at how they're living their lives, and he's doing his best to help them along the way. He said there are bumps in the road that he sees, and he wants to help clear those bumps, but to help you see beyond just the bump. He said, you know, we bump into difficulties in life and we think that's all there is, and we just stay stuck there. He said, it's just a moment. He said, you'll get over the hump and you'll go along the road and come into a place where things are better. You always have to look beyond the immediate moment to see what choice you can make today that will make a better tomorrow. And he always did that, and he always tried to teach his children that. So he's reminding them, if you're stuck and things aren't going just right, hang on, wait. Know that as you shift into knowing that the future will be better and making choices that will help to make that future better, everything is going to work out. But you have to pay attention to the choices you're making right now on the bump. He said it's sort of like the world is all making choices right now because the world is on a bump. And it's time for everybody to make choices that are for the higher good of everyone, whether it's getting a vaccine or whether it's helping the planet. There are so many issues going on in the world right now that you guys are all on a bump, and you got to pay attention and make decisions that will be the highest good for everyone in the long run. You can't just stay in the moment and just worry about this moment. You have to look beyond to make decisions so that you're helping the greater good. He said that's the story right now. That's what we're seeing from this higher side of life. Everyone needs to be working toward the greater good for the whole. And no one can be selfish anymore in the moment. So I feel like he's encouraging not just his children and his family, but everyone to look out for the greater good in the decisions we're making each and every day. We're all making decisions every single day, 1 million of them. And those decisions will create a wonderful future or a terrible one. So we have to really pay attention to the decisions we're making. And he's encouraging everyone to look beyond and see what it is you want in the future. What can you do today to bring that about? I feel like he's still that politician that wants to help the whole world. And that was what was in his heart. And I feel like he's still doing that from the spirit side of life. I feel like he's bringing inspiration and he's bringing wisdom and guidance to people that knew him and people who are in positions that can make really good decisions and make a difference. So know that he's very much around, very much connected, and he's still waving and shaking hands and trying to lift people up because that's what he did. And he's saying, keep doing that yourselves because everybody needs to be lifted up sometimes, most of the time. So lift people up, give them a smile, shake their hand, let them know you see them, and then look at the decisions you make to make a better world. It's all up to you. And I leave you with his blessings and lots of love. And I feel like I have one more that I want to bring in. Okay, I feel like I have a lady, and I feel like she would have had issues with her leg. I feel like I have difficult time walking. I feel like it's the right leg that's kind of buckled underneath me. So I feel like she may have even lost her leg at some point in her life. I feel like she's an older woman, and I feel like she didn't live to be 90. I feel like she may have passed around in her late 70s, maybe even a little bit before that. But because I feel like she had an illness, I feel like she would have had diabetes, and I feel like she lost feeling in her foot and then in her leg, and things just sort of piled up on her, and she had to really learn how to take care of herself, and she had to be very disciplined in her life with this illness. But she's saying, before I had that illness, I was a go-getter, and I love to have fun, and I feel like she's coming in with a smile and laughter, and I feel like I'd like to sit and play cards with the girls, and some of those girls are her daughters and some are her sisters, but I feel like she would have had groups of people, girls that she used to gather and play cards with and have fun. And she's coming in to remind her daughter. I feel like she wants to talk to her daughter and say, you got to have more fun, honey, because you're taking life a little bit too serious right now. She said, when things get so serious, you got to just do something to make you laugh and help yourself to have some fun. So I feel like she's throwing fun at her daughter, and I feel like she's also throwing fun at everybody. She said, you can step back and see how serious things are in the world, and you should notice what's going on there, but don't let it overwhelm you so that you feel frozen and just sit and get sad. You have to bring some fun into your life and enjoy life, and that gives you the passion to do something about those things that aren't working so well, because you have that passion and life inside of you. And she's encouraging everyone to use that passion within. Have some fun, play some games, color, do something creative, but get yourself moving, get yourself laughing, watch a comedy. You know, she's saying, I used to do those things. I'd love to watch comedies. I'd love to read funny jokes. I feel like she always would have had a joke, but she didn't always deliver them in the best way. She said, I always used to forget the punchline. So she'd tell you half the joke and say, oh, I forgot. And then she'd laugh because that was the funny part. But she used to love to read jokes, and she's showing me the Reader's Digest with Laughter's the Best Medicine, and reading the funny stories in there and laughing. And she loved to share those as well, because if she could get you to laugh, you could get out of the dumps and keep going. And she said, get out of the dumps, get up, get happy, and start living your life. And you got to just live every moment, because you just never know how long you're going to be here. So you might as well enjoy the time you got. So she says, just enjoy it. And I feel like I want to leave you with her blessings for everyone. Live life to the fullest, live every day, and laugh every day, because that will help you to stay healthy and strong. She said, it helped me move through a lot of difficulties in my illness. When I used humor, when I used laughter, I didn't take myself or my illnesses too seriously. And she said, when I took everything so serious, it wasn't a happy time. So lift yourselves up, and the best way to do it is through laughter. So I leave you with her laughter and her fun and so much joy that she brings. And she's kicking up, dancing now and kicking up her heels, because she says, I got my legs back. So she's good and strong and happy and powerful. And I leave you with all of her love and blessings. And thank her for coming and sharing that wonderful joy. And I thank all of the spirit world who have drawn near today to help us understand that life and love truly does continue. Their life force that they share really lifts us up. And know that you've all been touched by the love of spirit today. So please take it in. Let yourself be lifted. Open your heart and receive the love. And send your love out to them, because they do get it. And now before we close our service, just a couple of announcements. We'll continue our services on YouTube throughout June. And donations to the church can be made on our website and on Venmo at GBC Spiritualism, and also on Facebook. And know that we appreciate your support. Throughout this year and a half, we haven't been able to pass the basket, but we do appreciate all the support and the donations that you send in. Our next Medium's Day will be next Sunday, May 23rd. In place of the service, we'll be holding a Medium's Day, May 23rd from 1 to 3. You can email me to schedule a reading with one of our evidential mediums. I know they are filling up fast. I know we only have a few openings left, so send me an email, and I'll try to get you in for an appointment on May 23rd. Our next medium's night after that would be June 21st, which is the summer solstice. So if you email me and I do not have any more appointments, I'll give you the first options on the next Medium's Day. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please share the videos. And I thank you for joining us this week. And let us say our closing prayer as we close the service. Infinite Spirit God, we give thanks for your presence, for your light, for your love, and for the healing that you have brought to us. We give thanks for all of the messages and the wisdom from the spirit side of life. Help us to take it all into our hearts and to walk in harmony and peace with one another. Help us to recognize the beauty in every individual that we meet, understanding that we're all unique and different, but within we all have a part of you shining within us. Help us to see you within every being until we meet again. Amen. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week at Medium's Day or the week after at service. God bless you all.